Steve, there is nothing precious about this game. Steve, if they haven't figured it out, we're talking about Lord of the Rings Gollum, which has been the biggest disappointment of 2023 so far. Dude, what a misstep from this. I am not going to hold back, as this game is just garbage. This is the big disappointment. This is frustrating, infuriating, and there's just one hiccup after another, to the point where I can't even proceed in the game any further, because as my mission structure has me go back to talk to somebody, I am at this person's feet, like a lost puppy, waiting for a bone to get tossed my way so I can continue on with my quest, and it won't prompt me with the button to do so. It actually broke my game. I cannot play anymore. I'm done. I am still rather early in the game. You are way further than I am, but even for my short time with the game, dude, there's so many problems. First of all, let's talk about Gollum. Gollum is the main show of the game, the main star, right? Everybody knows who Gollum is. My precious. And everybody wants to see how this guy looks, how he runs, how he feels, how the game mechanic holds up. For a stealth game, it's horrible. For the look of the character, it's horrible. The movement of the character is horrible. Dude, I am shocked at how bad this game has turned out to be. I was so excited when they announced this game. And of course, how did they get us? They got us with a cinematic trailer because it looked cool. And then you get into the game and everything looks bad. The graphics are bad. Gollum, I cannot stress how bad Gollum looks. Like, he just looks like they went with some clay. There's Gollum. And I'm just like, man, I feel bad for the developers too, because I know they put their heart and soul into this and really wanted to produce a good game. But at the end of the day, nothing here panned out well at all. And I'm just left in awe as to, A, did nobody test this game? B, why would you put out such a broken game in the first place? And C, you just let a ton of people down, which then hurts your repertoire when it comes to your studio. Which, Daedalus is an actual decent studio, dude. I played a lot of their games, enjoy a lot of their games, and this is not one of those games at all. I could keep going on about how bad this is, but I thought maybe I'll shift it over to you and let you continue on.
Yeah, well, under circumstances, I actually played on the Xbox One. Yeah. And I only had one crash and one lost saved file, and that was at the very beginning. I was more surprised I actually put 15 hours into this and got to Chapter 6. But like you said, it's unfortunate, but it seems to me nowadays that games get released, they're not polished, they're not finished. No. And I don't know if it's crunch, and like you said, it ruins the reputation of that company. And to be honest with you, I'm not waiting 3 months for them to send out another file to sort the bugs out in the first place. I've already Chapter 6 now. I'm not going back and starting again with all these issues sorted. But on the Xbox One, graphically, textures were bad. You know, everything pops in and out. The game mechanics, you know, it's a lot of climbing, so you're jumping from wall to wall, going on cogs, or going swinging on bars, horizontal bars to get from point A to point B. But the camera motion was so bad on this, you can't see where you're jumping to. So it tells you a prompt to jump backwards, and you can't even see the wall that's behind you. So when you're trying to play the game and then you don't know where you're supposed to go, because it didn't always prompt up, and then you drop down to a ledge that you think there's a ledge and you die, and then you jump to the left, jump to the right, and you just fall and die. Because even a short distance will kill you. And to be honest with you, that was so frustrating. And on the Xbox One, the load screens, they took time. Because even going from point A to point B just for a cutscene, I have to wait for another load screen for the next part. So to me, that was very disappointing on that as well.
Well, I'm on the Series X, and I still had a pretty decent load time myself, which was not normal considering today's standards of how quickly games are loading, right? And then for this one to be, I'm like, you commented to me earlier while we were reviewing the game about how big a load time there was. I don't quite remember. Let me jump in. I went, yep, nope, there's a load time, like a decent sized load time. But granted, okay, I'll wait if the game is good, but this isn't good at all. I'm literally in one spot with Gollum standing there, and the rock over on this side is like polished. It is like perfect. The rock right beside it behind me is completely blurred, muted, and distorted. And I was just like, they're side by side. I just, every time I talk about the game, I'm just like, I'm just blown away. But how this didn't turn out the way everybody was really hoping for, right? This was supposed to be our step up into the next generation of games, the generation of consoles. Even though you're on the old Xbox, I'm on the new one. I'm still having all the same issues you are. We try to wall run. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
You charge into the wall to go up. I might bounce off the wall instead. And it's just, things like this are constantly happening. Steve, if I bought this game, because granted, we were given this to review for the show, which we appreciate, but at the same time, if we were to purchase this game, I would be livid and be asking for my money back. This is not a good game in the slightest. I hope nobody, it's hard to say, but I don't want anybody to buy this game. It doesn't work.
Yeah. And the other thing as well I noticed, obviously you play Gollum, and it's like, so what's his special ability? What does he do? He does nothing. The only thing you do is like you run on all fours, you do your climbing.
And talks to himself all the day, like all day long.
All you do, you pick up stones just to throw in the pot to get the guards' attention, and then you could throttle them. But you cannot throttle guards that have a helmet.
No.
Even though his neck's exposed, you cannot throttle him. And it's supposed to be a stealth game, but unfortunately, because of the camera action, that there wasn't hardly any, or it's all over the place.
Yeah.
You can't see. You get past a couple of guards on the first bit, but you can't see where the next one is until you actually right on top of them. Then you get spotted, and then you get called, and then it's back to the beginning again, or the last checkpoint. Obviously, you can pick up grubs and certain things for your health because you're half health, but that's all he does. There's no abilities. There's no level ups.
There's the Gollum vision though, Steve, where you can get your sense. And it's just, there isn't enough to this game, right? And there's so many issues. It's just really disheartening to see what they did to the Lord of the Rings franchise as a brand and as a fan of the Lord of the Rings. Man, it just hurts. Go play Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah. Oh, and I just quickly touched on, you talked about the senses that it to find objects. For me, I got a total black screen, so I couldn't see anything because it is a dark game.
Yep.
Or it'll just be pure white, and it'd be like you can't see anything, any objects, or it's basically for the guards, the sense where the guards are, or things, or spiders, because there is a point where there is plenty of spiders as well, which I won't go into that because that was another issue with that as well for me.
Steve, this is just the biggest disappointment of 2023, right? We said this from the top. The Lord of the Rings Gollum is not a good game. It's not worth playing, and it's just the biggest disappointment that we've seen so far. For me personally, having so many bugs, being so early in the game, can't even progress further because it doesn't allow me to. I can't even play the game at this point. I've deleted it from my console. I am done. This game is not good. Don't recommend it. And for me, this gets a 1. What are you scoring The Lord of the Rings Gollum?
Well, I actually got, as you know, got a little bit further. I did put the hours in, hoping that something might miraculously make us a better game. And unfortunately, it didn't. I didn't have as many issues as you. I'm giving this a 3. It's something I won't go back to because I'm not waiting around to get these bugs fixed and sorted. I want it on day one when the game is released. And I think this is becoming the norm now. So that's why I'm giving this the 3.
Fair enough.